Comments made on the following paid commercial program are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time.
Welcome to the Money and Wealth Show. On the program this week, tax tips with David Ingram, money commercials, and our special guest, Adrian Mastracci. Welcome to the Money and Wealth Show. I'm Sterling Fox, and our special guest this week is the president of KCM Wealth Management in Vancouver, portfolio manager Adrian Mastracci. Adrian, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Sterling.
Good to have you with us, and today we're going to talk retirement. And I know that this is a subject that's a little tender to a lot of ears these days. Why are people so standoffish when it comes to tackling head-on the issue of retirement?
Well, retirement does come into play in a lot of households, and everybody has to look at it at some point in time and say to themselves, what is it that I have to do? What is it that I need to do to get to where I want to be? And that means doing some calculations, maybe seeing a professional out there somewhere, and that takes a lot.
So what do you start? Do you see the professional, or do you do the arithmetic on the kitchen table? What's a good strategy to approach retirement that isn't scary or unattractive?
Think of this as building a house. The first thing that you do when you build a house, at least I hope that's what you do, is to go out and get a blueprint.
Sure.
You have to find out that you're building a 3-story house, perhaps 4,000 square feet, whatever the case might be. And then you say to yourself, what do I need to build that house? How much lumber do I need? It's the same thing in finances. It's the same thing in retirement. What is it that I need to do? When do I want some income? When does it start? How long will it be for? All that sort of stuff.
Based on your experience, Adrian, as a portfolio manager, and you've been in the game a long time, at what age do individuals or couples get serious about the reality of retirement?
Probably as high as 55, although they should be doing that at 50, 45, if at all possible. My view is if you start 10 to 15 years before you actually want to retire, that at least will give you a pretty good indication, a pretty good time frame. If you can start earlier, like 20 years before, that would be great.
It's tough to convince a 25 or even 35-year-old to spend much time thinking about retirement. There's so much else going on, raising a family, developing a career. But some people are actually perceptive enough to begin planning at that early age. But you don't run into many of them, do you?
Thankfully, I do have some of those that start planning early in, let's say, their 30s. I don't think anybody that I know plans in their 20s, but in their 30s, maybe early 40s.
Okay. And once the blueprint, the game plan is mapped out, how long should that take? And when you sit down with a professional advisor to talk retirement strategy, what sort of questions should you expect that professional to ask you?
Well, let's start with, when do you want to retire? What do you see as retirement? What sort of income would you like? When is it going to start? How long shall we plan for? Do we go to, let's say, age 90? What kind of long livers do you have in your family? Because that may affect how long you live and how long we have to plan for. So these are the big items that you start with. And then you say, now, given all that, how much capital do I need? And what do I have today? How difficult is it for me to get from where I am today to where I want to be? Will it take a 5% return per year? Will it be 15? You know, those are two different portfolios.
What percentage of people, in your experience, are able to approach the whole concept of retirement, Adrian, with the comfort of knowing that they have pension income essentially indefinitely in their lives?
I would say about half of my clients have pensions. The other half have their own RSP, a RIF combination, things like that. So roughly half and half, and that's reasonable across the Canada's landscape.
Okay, so for those individuals, however, who for whatever reason don't have any kind of assurance of pension income in their lives, the only assurance that we all share is the OAS and the Canada Pension Plan. That's common to us all. But beyond that, if there isn't a structured income reality in a person's life, how differently should they approach retirement than for someone who does have a pension?
Well, let's take someone who's self-employed. He or she probably does not have a pension plan. So they have to start putting away something every year in the TFSA and the RRSP, maybe a combination of that. If they're lucky enough to have an individual pension plan through work, they may do something like that. But it is a little more difficult. It means that you have to literally look at the savings you have, start putting them aside, because one day you're going to need those savings to fund your retirement.
Lots to talk about. The subject of today's program is retirement, with the capable assistance of portfolio manager Adrian Mastracci, president of KCM Wealth Management. This is the Money and Wealth Show, and we'll be right back.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry Ray. I'm the president and CEO of American Manganese, Inc. I'm here to tell you today that American Manganese could possibly bring in the lowest cost electrolytic manganese metal mine in North America. It'll be the first one in the past few decades. What is manganese? Well, you can't have a steel industry without manganese. If you don't have manganese, you don't have steel. If you don't have steel, the world stops. North America has no manganese. We depend on our neighbors and other countries to import our manganese, and it just doesn't make any sense we don't exploit the resources in our own country. So I'm here to tell you that we are moving ahead with the feasibility study, we're moving ahead with the environmental studies, and we're moving ahead with a massive drill program in order to build the American Manganese, Inc. into the first primary electrolytic manganese producer in the United States. Please visit our website at americanmanganeseinc.com or call us at 604-531-9639. Thank you.